My girlfriend said, "You people are all the same," to a server and humiliated her in front of the entire restaurant. Turns out that server was my sister. I'm Cameron and I own 3 restaurants in Dallas. 4 months ago, I started dating Haley. She's an interior designer, smart, successful, and when we're together, she's great. But there's this thing I can't shake, and it's getting harder to ignore. She's rude to service workers. Not just occasionally, consistently. And it's eating me alive. My parents were restaurant workers their entire careers. My mom was a waitress for 20 years at a diner off I-35. My dad worked the line at a steakhouse downtown for even longer. I grew up in the back of restaurants, doing homework at corner booths while mom finished her shift, watching dad come home exhausted with burns on his arms from the flat top. I saw people treat them like they were invisible, or worse, like they were inconveniences put on this earth just to mess up orders. When I was 12, I found my mom crying in her car after her shift. Some woman had screamed at her because her steak wasn't medium rare enough and demanded it be comped. Manager sided with the customer. Mom held it together during service but broke down after. She looked at me with these red eyes and said, "Baby, don't ever treat people like this. We're just trying to make a living." I never forgot that. When I was old enough to work, I started as a dishwasher, then moved to serving, then bartending. I saved every dollar, learned the business from the ground up. When I finally had enough to open my first restaurant at 25, I built it to honor their work. Now I have 3 places, all doing well, and I make sure my staff knows they're valued. Nobody gets screamed at. Nobody gets treated like they're beneath anyone else. So when Haley snaps at servers, it doesn't just bother me, it hits something deep. First time was 2 months in. We were at this boutique clothing store in Uptown, one of those places where everything costs 3 times what it should. I was looking at jackets while Haley was browsing dresses. A retail worker, maybe early 20s, approached with a friendly smile. "Can I help you find anything?" Haley didn't even look up from the rack, just waved her hand dismissively. "If I need you, I'll call you over." The worker's smile faltered. "Of course, I'll be right over there if that's fine." Still not looking up. The worker walked away and I saw her face. She looked embarrassed. I felt this uncomfortable knot in my stomach but told myself maybe Haley was just focused on shopping. Maybe she was having a bad day. I didn't want to be that guy who jumps to conclusions after one incident. In the car after, I tried to bring it up casually. "That clerk seemed nice." Haley was checking her phone. "Did she do something to bother you?" She looked up, genuinely confused. "Who?" "Oh, the girl." "No, why? You seemed kind of short with her." "Cameron, I wasn't trying to be mean, I just didn't need help. If I want hovering, I'll go to Nordstrom." She laughed like it was nothing. I let it drop. First strike, right? Everyone has off moments. Second time was a few weeks later. Coffee shop, busy Monday morning. The line was out the door, 3 baristas working hard behind the counter. We got our drinks and Haley took one sip and her face twisted. "This isn't almond milk." She was up before I could respond, walking back to the counter. I followed because something in her posture told me this wasn't going to be polite. The barista who made our drinks was a young woman, mid-20s maybe, looking exhausted. Haley didn't wait in line, just walked right up. "Excuse me, can you even read?" Her voice carried across the entire shop. "I said almond milk, this is clearly regular milk." The barista looked mortified. "I'm so sorry, let me remake that for you. Should have made it right the first time. I'm lactose intolerant." She's not, by the way. "I completely understand, I'm so sorry, I'll have that remade in just, and I'd like a pastry, complimentary, for the trouble." I stepped in. "Hey, Haley, mistakes happen." "They're slammed," she turned to me, irritated. "Cameron, they need to learn." The barista remade the drink and gave her a free croissant. In the car, Haley had already moved on, talking about her client meeting. "You were pretty hard on that barista," I said. "I have standards. Bad service shouldn't be rewarded. If I don't say something, how will they improve?" "By being spoken to like a human being instead of getting humiliated." She laughed. "Cameron, I wasn't humiliating her. I was holding her accountable. You're too nice. That's sweet, but it's not how the world works." "The thing is," she said it so matter-of-factly, like treating someone with basic decency when they make a mistake was some kind of character flaw. Last week we were at a restaurant across town. Saturday night, clearly understaffed. Our server, a woman in her 40s, looked exhausted. She came to our table with water and menus. "Hi folks, I'm Jennifer. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Haley didn't look up from her phone, just held up a finger. Jennifer waited. Haley finished typing. "Sparkling water with lemon." "Of course, and for you, sir." "I'll just have regular water, thanks. And take your time, I know you're busy." Haley rolled her eyes when Jennifer walked away. "She's moving like molasses." When Jennifer brought our drinks, Haley snapped her fingers. I've never seen anyone do that outside of a movie. "Excuse me, hello." Jennifer was 3 feet away, turning to the next table. "We're ready to order." The meal was fine. Jennifer was doing her best, but Haley complained the entire time. Too loud, too slow. "The steak is overcooked." "It isn't." Every time Jennifer checked in, Haley found something new. When the check came, I glanced at it. The meal was $85. Haley left $92, $7 tip, 8%. "I'm gonna hit the restroom," she said. The second she was gone, I pulled out cash, add enough to bring it to 25%. When Jennifer came back, I handed it to her directly. "Thank you for your patience tonight." She looked at the cash, then at me. "You didn't have to do that." "Yeah, I did." In the car, Haley was talking about how lazy service was ruining dining out. I was gripping the steering wheel, thinking about my mom, thinking about all the times some customer like Haley made her want to quit. But she's never rude to me. She's thoughtful, attentive, asks about my day, always makes sure I'm comfortable when I'm with her. When I mentioned I'm in the restaurant business, she thought I was a manager or something. I kept it vague because I wanted to see if she liked me for me, not my money. But this pattern with service workers is eating at me. Reddit, I need perspective. Is this a real red flag, or am I being too sensitive because of my background? She says she just has standards and bad service shouldn't be rewarded. But it feels like more than that. Edit. Reading these comments. A lot of you are saying how someone treats waitstaff is who they really are. That hits hard. The comment about conditional respect, she's nice to me because she sees me as equal. What happens when she doesn't? Edit 2. Some of you asked why I haven't told her I own restaurants. Honestly, I wanted to see the real her. Guess I'm getting that now. Update 1. Holy shit. I need to write this down while it's fresh because I'm still processing. So I had a business meeting today at Rizzo's, my upscale Italian restaurant. I was finishing up in the private corner booth at the back when I heard a voice I recognized. Loud, complaining. It was Haley. She and her friend Sloan were at a front table. And their server, my sister Riley. Quick context. Riley is 22, just graduated with a hospitality management degree. She's working as a server at my restaurant because I told her if she wants to manage someday, she needs to understand every role from the bottom up. She's been doing great, professional, handles difficult customers, learning fast. I stayed in my corner. I wanted to see how this played out. Riley brought water with lemon. Standard. Haley's voice cut across the dining room. "I didn't ask for lemon. Do you not listen?" Riley, professional as hell. "I'm sorry, I'll bring you a fresh, and make sure the glass is actually clean this time." The glass was spotless. I could see it from where I sat. Riley brought the bread basket. "This bread is cold, bring it warm." Riley took it back without argument. When she returned, Sloan laughed, actually laughed, and said, "God, you can't find good help anywhere." I felt my jaw clench. Riley came back to take their order. Haley was on her phone, talking without looking up. Riley asked her to repeat the salad dressing. Haley's response, "I said balsamic. If you were paying attention instead of standing there stupidly, you'd have heard me." Riley, still professional, "Balsamic, got it." I watched my sister's face. She was holding it together, but I could see the tension in her shoulders. This is the woman I've been dating for 4 months, talking to my baby sister like she's garbage. The meals came out. Paul makes every dish that goes to the dining room himself when he's on. That's just how he is. Perfectionist. The chicken looked golden, perfectly seasoned. I could see it from my booth. Haley cut into it. I knew what was coming. I've been in this business long enough to recognize the setup, looking for a problem, ready to create one where none exists. "This chicken is dry." Riley, still professional despite everything. "I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm happy to have the chef make you another one right away. You probably told him wrong because you weren't listening earlier. That's what happens when you don't pay attention." Sloane laughed. Actually laughed. "Just send it back, babe. It's fine, I'll just eat it, but you should tell your chef to do better." Then Riley asked if she could get them anything else, and Haley said it, the words that ended everything. "You people are all the same, can't even do a simple job right. This is why you're servers, scraping by on tips instead of doing anything real with your life." I watched Riley's face. My baby sister. The girl who graduated top of her class, who's been working her ass off to learn every aspect of this business, who's dreaming of opening her own place someday. Her eyes started to water, but she blinked it back. "Let me get the manager for you." I was already standing up. My chair scraped against the floor. Every instinct in me was screaming to stay calm, stay professional. But this was my sister. This was my restaurant. This was the woman I'd been defending to myself for months, making excuses for, convincing myself I was being too sensitive. "Is there a problem?" Haley's face transformed. The cold disdain melted into this bright, delighted smile. "Cameron, oh my God, what are you doing here?" She stood up like she was going to hug me. I took a step back. I asked if there's a problem. She gestured at Riley with her fork, casual as anything. "The service here is terrible. This girl has been incompetent since we sat down, and now the food is she?" My voice came out flat, dead. Sloane, oblivious. "Yeah, we've been waiting forever for everything, and she keeps, this is my restaurant." The words landed like a bomb. Silence rippled out from our table. Haley's smile froze. "What?" "I own this restaurant. I own 3 of them, actually." I put my hand on Riley's shoulder. She was trembling. "And this girl, her name is Riley Reed. She's my sister. She has a hospitality management degree from Texas State. She's learning operations from the bottom up because that's how you build a good manager, by understanding every single role." Haley's mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound came out. "But here's what I want to know," I continued, and I could feel the anger now, cold and controlled. "You just said she's not doing anything real with her life, that she's you people. So if she's beneath you because she's making less than you because she's scraping by on tips," I let that hang in the air. The dining room was dead silent. "Then I must be way above you, right? I own multiple successful restaurants. I'm worth about 5 times what you make. So by your logic, you're beneath me, am I right? Cameron, that's not. Should I start snapping my fingers at you? Should I insult your intelligence? Should I tell you interior design isn't a real job, that you're not doing anything meaningful with your life?" "That's different." Her voice was getting shrill now. "How is it different? Explain it to me then. You're in the business of making spaces look pretty. Riley's in the business of making sure people have a good dining experience. Both are jobs. Both require skill. Both deserve respect. So what's the difference?" "You're embarrassing me in front of everyone," she hissed. "You embarrassed yourself. You've been embarrassing yourself since you sat down and started treating my sister like garbage. I'm just making sure everyone else knows what you really think of people you consider beneath you." Sloane tried to intervene. "Maybe we should all just—" "You should leave," I said, looking at her. "Both of you now." Haley grabbed her purse. "I can't believe you're doing this. After everything. We've been dating for only 4 months. You just told my sister she's worthless because she's a server. There is no after everything." I walked them to the door. Haley tried to say something else, but I wasn't hearing it anymore. The anger was giving way to something else, relief maybe, or clarity. That feeling when you've been carrying something heavy and you finally put it down. After they left, I stood there for a second. The restaurant had started up again, conversations resuming, the normal dinner noise, but everyone was glancing over. Great. I just made a scene in my own place. Riley was still standing at the table, frozen. I went back to her. "Come on." I guided her to my office in the back. The second the door closed, she started crying. Not dramatic sobs, just tears running down her face while she tried to keep breathing steady. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't mean to cause." "Riley, no, you didn't cause anything. She did that. All of that was her." "I've dealt with rude customers before," she said, wiping her eyes with her sleeve. "God knows I have, but you people, that felt." "I know." I wanted to handle it professionally. I knew you were back there watching and I wanted to show you I could do it, that I could take it and not react. You did, you were perfect, but you shouldn't have had to take that from anyone. I told Riley to take the rest of the week off. Paid. She tried to argue, but I insisted. Take time, process, come back when you're ready. What about Haley? There is no Haley, we're done. Riley hugged me. Thanks for having my back. Always. Edit to answer the common questions. Yes, Riley's okay. Shaken, but okay. And yes, multiple servers have told me this meant a lot to them. One of my guys has been in the industry 15 years and said he's never seen an owner do that. Update 2, it's been a week and the circus continues. Riley took the week off like I offered but came back yesterday. First thing she told me, I'm ready. That experience just taught me what kind of manager I want to be, one who never lets staff get treated like that. My staff's been incredible. The day after it happened, 3 servers pulled me aside separately to thank me. Paul, who's worked with me for 6 years, said, in 15 years in kitchens, I've never seen an owner do that. You've got loyalty here now. But Haley, Jesus Christ, Haley. The text started that same night. You humiliated me in public. How could you? I was having a bad day. You know I'm not normally like that. You chose a server over your girlfriend. Are you out of your mind? That last one. She sent that like it was self-evidently wrong. That picking my sister who she just degraded over her was somehow the wrong thing to do. But yeah, Haley, that's exactly what I did. I didn't respond. She moved to phone calls. 3 voicemails, each some variation of can we talk about this like adults. And I didn't know she was your sister. I would never write. She would never treat my sister like that if she knew. But random servers. Fair game. Then the mutual friends got involved. The buddy who introduced us called. She says you overreacted. Can you just hear her out? I sent him a screenshot of Riley's account of what happened. There was a long pause. Oh yeah, that's bad. Last Wednesday, Haley showed up at the restaurant during dinner service. She walked past the hostess stand straight to where I was checking on a table. Can we talk? I'm working. I want to apologize to your sister. Riley was behind the bar, restocking glasses. She heard. I don't accept, she called out without even turning around. Haley tried again. I was stressed. I took it out wrong. Riley set down the wine bottle she was holding and turned around. You said you people. You think service workers are beneath you. That's who you are. I'm not accepting an apology from someone who doesn't think I deserve respect unless I'm related to someone who owns the place. Haley's face went red. She looked at me. I shrugged. She's right. That wasn't a bad day. That was your character. She left, but not quietly. On her way out, loud enough for customers to hear. This is why I date up. At least most successful men understand class. Riley burst out laughing. Did she seriously just insult you while asking for you back? The really fun part. The mutual friends have been getting Haley's version of events. According to them, she's telling people I'm classist against successful women and insecure about her making good money. Let me be clear, Haley makes about $75,000 a year. I own 3 profitable restaurants in Dallas. Her money is not threatening to me. Yesterday she posted on Instagram. Sometimes you don't know someone until they show their true colors. Riley commented, true, like when they show how they treat waitstaff with a smiley face emoji attached. Haley accidentally pinned that comment. She only realized and deleted it when it was already too late. I bought my sister dinner last night. She deserved it for that comment. It was hilarious as hell. Final update, 2 weeks since the last update. I thought this was over. It's not quite over, but it's close. First, the email. Yes, Haley is seriously moving to sending emails now. Haley sent one a week ago, right after the Instagram comment from Riley. Subject line, reflection and understanding. It was long. The summary, she's been reflecting on our different upbringings and realizes we were incompatible because of class differences. Not that she was wrong, that we have different values around service dynamics. She suggested maybe I'm too working class to understand that maintaining standards isn't the same as being cruel. I sent one reply, Haley, this isn't about class. My parents were servers and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what I built from that foundation. This is about respect. You don't respect people based on who they are, you respect them based on what they can do for you. You were nice to me because you thought I was your equal. The second you saw someone you deemed beneath you, your real character showed. I don't want someone who's conditionally kind. Don't contact me again." Her response: "You'll regret this. Good luck finding someone who understands your lifestyle." I didn't reply, but here's where it gets wild. Last night I was having dinner at a steakhouse across town. Not one of mine, this is Miller's, been around 30 years, old school Dallas spot. I was there with Brent, my business partner, talking about expanding into Fort Worth. We were at a booth in the back corner, and who walked in? Haley, of course, with some guy in a suit that screams finance bro. They got seated 3 tables away. I told Brent to ignore it. We were mid-conversation when I heard it. "Excuse me, I asked for no ice." Same tone, same condescension. Their server was a young guy, probably college-aged. He apologized, reached for the water glass. Haley pulled it back. "I'll wait for a fresh one, and make sure you actually listen this time." Brent's eyes went wide. He'd heard the story, but seeing it live was different. The finance bro laughed. "Babe, take it easy on him. He needs to learn," Haley said, loud enough for surrounding tables to hear. The server brought fresh water, took their order. When he walked away, I heard Haley: "I swear the service quality everywhere has just gone downhill. Remember when people took pride in their work?" The irony of her saying that in a restaurant where people are actively taking pride in their work is stunning. Finance bro said something I couldn't hear. Haley laughed then. "Exactly. Like if you can't handle basic tasks, maybe find a different job." I was watching the server. He was young, but he was handling it, professional, took their abuse, stayed calm, reminded me of Riley. Their meals came. 5 minutes later: "Excuse me, this steak is overcooked. I asked for medium rare." The server: "I'm sorry, let me have the kitchen." "No, I'll just deal with it, but you should tell them to pay attention." The steak looked perfect medium rare from where I was sitting. Brent leaned over. "You gonna do something?" "Not my place anymore." But then I saw the manager approaching their table. He was old school, been working at Miller's probably since before I was born. I heard fragments: "Everything all right?" and Haley's voice explaining about the numerous service issues. The manager listened, nodded. Then I heard him say, "Ma'am, I watched your server bring you 3 separate waters because you changed your mind about ice. I watched him take your order while you were on your phone. And I personally checked that steak before it left the kitchen. It's a perfect medium rare." Silence. "I'm going to ask you to pay your bill and leave. We don't tolerate abuse of our staff here." Finance bro started to object. The manager cut him off. "I've been here 32 years. I've seen every kind of customer. The kind who treats servers like they're beneath them. They're not welcome back." Haley's face went nuclear red. She looked around and saw me watching from across the room. Our eyes met. I raised my glass slightly and gave her a small smile. She looked like she wanted to throw her wine glass at my face right then and there, but she just grabbed her purse and stormed out. Finance bro threw cash on the table and followed. After they left, I flagged down their server. "You handled that really well." He laughed, shaky. "Thanks. I was about to lose it." I slipped him a 50 for your trouble. Brent was shaking his head, grinning. "What are the odds?" "In Dallas, higher than you'd think. Restaurant community is small." Before we left, I stopped by the manager. "That was well done," he shrugged. "Can't let people treat my guys like garbage, bad for morale." Then he peered at me. "You're Cameron Reed, right? Own those Italian places." "That's me." "Heard about what you did for your sister. Respect." We shook hands. Driving home, I thought about what Haley said in that email, that I'm too working class to understand. She's right, actually. I am working class. My parents were working class. Riley's learning the business from the working class side up, and I'm proud of that. Current situation: Riley's officially moved into assistant manager training at Rizzo's. She's shadowing our evening manager, learning scheduling, inventory, all of it. She still takes server shifts twice a week, says it keeps her grounded. Dating-wise, I'm seeing someone. Met her 3 weeks ago. She's a veterinarian, came into Rizzo's for dinner after a long shift. I noticed her before she noticed me. She thanked the server by name, asked how his night was going, left 25%. When she dropped her napkin, she picked it up herself instead of expecting him to get it, even though he was right next to her. That told me everything I needed to know. We've been on 4 dates. Last night she asked about my family. I told her about my parents. She said, "That must be why you're so good to your staff. You understand?" Yeah, I do. As for Haley, I heard through a mutual friend she's still with finance bro. Apparently they bond over complaining about lazy workers and entitled service people. They deserve each other. My dad called last week. I told him the whole story. He was quiet for a minute, then said, "Your mom would be proud. I'm proud. You remembered where you come from." That meant more than any relationship ever could. Thanks for following this journey, Reddit. And if you're reading this and you work in service, you're seen. You matter, and you deserve respect, period. Edit. Since people are asking, yes, the veterinarian knows the full story. She laughed and said, "So I passed the test." I told her it's not a test, it's just basic humanity. She said, "Same thing."